I try so hard in this world to believe a glimmer of hope, to think that this industry could be getting better, to put forth an effort to actively participate in the betterment of the video game space. And then trash like F1 2023 gets announced and released, and I know that you idiots will never change. You buy the same yearly installments of the same garbage franchises, and you're willingly doing it with a smile on your fucking face. F1, first off, remove the video game. F1 is the most boring sport I have ever seen. If you enjoy watching these little cars race around these little tracks and these drivers pretending like they're actual athletes while they sit on their ass, get off my channel. I do not respect you, and I want nothing to do with you. But then you want to play a virtualized version of that where you're sitting there racing around a track. Racing is a dead genre. There was only ever one good racing game, and that was Flat Out, and that game's dead. Y'all Burnout fans out here, arcade racers, I can at least see the appeal. But F1, first off, let me tell you a story. Gather around the campfire. It's time for story time with Dead Metal, kids. You see, my grandfather used to watch F1. He was big into it, too. He used to love that shit. And so, as a child, when I would visit my grandparents, I was exposed to it through him. What I found absolutely hilarious was that every time he would put it on, the motherfucker fell into the deepest sleep I have ever seen him fall into. And this was a weekly goddamn occurrence. This motherfucker was snoring like a chainsaw. I could go over, shake him, slap him in the face. He would not wake up. Seriously, this shit did a better job than NyQuil at knocking his ass out. If you need to go to sleep, don't bother buying some over-the-counter sleep medicine. Just put on F1. Because of how boring it is, I'd rather watch paint dry. I would rather read War and Peace in a different language than sit there and be subject to the absolute mental torment that is F1 racing. And this game is no different. A cash cow, it runs at 30 FPS. Disgustingly terrible graphics. Looks like a straight PS2 game. The gameplay is unchanged from F1 2022, which was unchanged from F1 2021, which was unchanged from F1 2020. This game does not evolve. Much like the sport it's based on, it's static. It refuses to move forward with the industry. It refuses to evolve. Now, you might be saying, Dead Metal, F1 has a die-hard fan base, a committed fan base. Why would they change it? Because it is the single most solitary, mind-numbing piece of trash I have ever seen. So I'm going to make a suggestion to both the F1 sport and the video game to make it more exciting. I've come with a business proposition. Now, F1, if you're listening, I want at least 70% of the revenue that you're going to generate from my idea, because this is guaranteed to put both sponsorships and viewership through the fucking roof. Here's what we do. Instead of having these cars race round and around just passing each other, we put guns on the side of the cars. We get some engagement. We allow landmines on the racetrack. We get some fucking action. We take the concept of racing cars round and round a track and we add a deathmatch element to it. I'm talking Jason Statham death race, motherfucker. I'm talking bullets, grenades, landmines, get some fucking flamethrowers on the car, Mario Kart, fucking get some blue shells in there. Let's make it exciting. Let's make it watchable. Because in its current state, F1 is not watchable. Anybody who claims to be a fan of F1 is either kidding themselves and they're in a deep fit of denial, or they just really like taking naps. Because you do not watch an F1 race without falling asleep at least 3 different times. It's boring. It's so painful to watch. It is so fucking agonizing to be put through 3.5, sometimes 4 hours of cars going around the track. Y'all motherfuckers out here wondering why Fast and Furious went away from street racing. It's because racing is boring. Racing doesn't excite anybody. Fast and Furious evolved, and I know F1 can too. We get Vin Diesel to do some promos, we strap some guns to some cars, and we watch the profits and the viewership skyrocket. Somebody send this to F1, hashtag at them on Twitter. My business proposition is going to revolutionize the sport. If you buy F1 2023, you're a fucking idiot.